What's up guys, Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about solo queue, how to gain MMR. I mean, technically I guess I can't even say solo queue anymore. Times have changed. I remember when I was a wee old lad, and you could only queue solo queue. In fact, there was no such thing as medals. There's no Herald, there's no Crusader, no Guardian. There's none of it. It didn't exist. But regardless, we're going to be talking about the top 5 ways to gain MMR that you usually don't hear, because I've made one in the past. It's one of my most successful videos. Hopefully you guys have seen it. It just kind of gives you a general layout of like what you need to do, to gain MMR, and it's a good starting place. But today I want to talk about some different ideas that sort of are a bit out of the ordinary, but I've been coaching a lot more, right? Ever since I made that video, it's been about almost 8 months now. And I've done so much coaching, and I've realized what's helped people. I've come to the realization that there are different tactics you can use and various strategies that have more impact than others. So let's get into it. So recently I got to play with CC&C in a few pubs, 2 just ranked pubs on my main account, and I made them into videos. I played Tusk and Winter Wyvern, and they're eventually going to be on the main site. So if you're interested in learning how to actually just dominate with those heroes and really just learn tips from the pros, you should check it out. Right, because I don't get that opportunity a lot where I just get to play with the pro and kind of get to move around the map with them, gank their lane, and really just understand what's going on through their heads. So if you want to just see that or learn anything about Dota, it's really the place to be. I'm putting out a lot of cool content on there. I'm basically making a new random to 6K video or a few a week. It's been absolutely amazing, and I feel like I'm adding a lot of value. So if you're interested, I'd love to see you guys there, and click the link in the description below. So the first thing I want to say is to execute. What do I mean by this? It's like, oh, this is another, like, what's his name? Tony Robbins motivational video. You gotta execute. Come on, just do it. But I'm serious. Like, I think a lot of people just watch my content and then they go on GameLeap and watch more of my content. And it's like, oh, this is how I learn, right? Like, every time I watch a video, I get better. Not really. Like, actually, there are parts, it's gonna help you a little bit. It's gonna get you on the right path. But then you actually have to do it in game. Like, guys, if you're watching my videos and you're just watching the clips in the background and zoning out, you're not gonna learn anything. Now, if it's still fun for you, fine, I'm happy to have you here. I love you. But still, I really recommend you try to take certain points from the videos and actually execute them in your next game, right? If you watch a Storm video, go play Storm. Don't just go play Nature's Prophet your next game. You're not going to be able to apply what you know. If everyone could just take information and then instantly just be able to use it in game, we would all be gods. We would legitimately be gods. Why? Because we have tablets, we have phones, we have computers. You have to execute. Now moving on, for number 4, you want to stop losing. And I heard, guys, someone told me, it must have been one of my friends, all right? I have a lot of friends. They look like rats because we rat together. We're the rat pack. And they told me that if you like the video, you are going to easily win all of your next games, especially your next 3. They're going to be extremely easy. That's a guarantee. But in all seriousness, I recommend you guys stop pushing towers every time after you win a fight. What do I mean by this? Because people hear this, they're like, oh, Speed, he's promoting me to play slow. He doesn't want me to do anything anymore. He wants me to AFK and just farm the whole game. Relax. Relax. That's not what I'm saying, guys. Understand what I mean. Very often, what happens in solo queue, and I highly encourage you to execute and go watch a replay right after this. Every time people win a fight, they just run it down the lane. Here we go, boys. They just run it down. They run it down. Want to know what happens when you run it down? They respawn in 5 seconds, they TP in and kill you because they have cooldowns and you don't. Stop. 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 I'm going to give you an incredible rule right now. This is a ton of value coming up here. If the enemy is spawning in under 20 seconds, unless it's just one hero and the rest are dead for 80, please, if the majority are spawning under 20 seconds, or even 1, do not push the tower unless you are a Meepo, Lycan, Abaddon, Nature's Prophet, Beastmaster draft. Please, you are not going to insta-kill the tower. You will get held up there. You're going to get X marks, glimpsed, lift, slept, cursed, any spell in the book. Please, guys, stop. Split up and farm. The time you get objectives is typically if you have a creep wave right on the spot, or if it's a safe tower to take. Like, if you clear them out of the area and you have good vision, then you can actually go for it, right? If you know they won't come back. But if there's an inkling within yourself that they are going to TP or that you might dive the tower, it is the worst place to fight in Dota. Stop it. Stop diving towers. Stop pushing when people are respawning on under 20. Moving into number 3, I just want to say I really think you should watch your own replays. And if you can't do this, I'll give you a second option. Be critical about your deaths, okay? These are the 2 most important things in terms of being an analytical player, right? Or just an analytical mind where you step back and are critical about your mistakes. if you can watch your own replays, this is the best thing to do. I do a lot of coaching with people, one-on-one, and this is what we do. We spend the most time watching replays because, frankly, it's something people never do. So when I bring it to them, it starts opening up so many new doors because they can look at their own play and be like, wow, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But if you don't want to do this and it's boring, even though I recommend you just do it during your queue times, especially for the people complaining that they're over 5 minutes, just literally speed through your replays and try to be critical. If you can't do that, just be critical every time you die. If you're like, oh, maybe I was out of position. Maybe I should have clicked my force staff, my glimmer. Maybe I should have bought a different item. Maybe, you know, I shouldn't have been in position there. Maybe that's a fine death. Maybe I'm full resources now. I can just TP back to lane. Be very critical. Think about it. And if you're not sure, ask someone in the GameLeap Discord. Hopefully I'll be on and can reply. If not, just do it yourself. And for me, I think this is the #1 thing that anyone can do. And why do I say this? Because I genuinely believe that a lot of players struggle to have the ability to strictly blame themselves. I'm going to give you a situation here that might surprise a little bit of you guys. In the past, I have had feeders on my team, and I'm able to look at that game and be like, oh, you know, they fed, they ran down mid, and I will still ask myself the question, could I have stopped them from running down mid? Is there something I could have done that would have prevented them from running down mid? Now, if it's a Nature's Prophet who literally nothing was said to them and they didn't say anything and they just TP'd to the base, okay, fine, I'm not going to overanalyze that. I'm not a psychopath. But let's say they started raging in the chat. Could I have said anything to be a social worker, to level out the playing field and calm everyone down? Could I have played better? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Maybe I shouldn't have typed. Right? Maybe I should be less rude. Maybe I should stop provoking people. I ask a lot of questions. You have to learn how to think. I don't think a lot of people are thinking. See how I thought about that? But I honestly mean this. I honestly mean this. Because if you're trying to get even relatively close to the top level, Immortal specifically, you need to be able to outthink your opponent. A big part of it, when people start having relatively similar mechanical abilities, it has to become a thinking game. That's why you see 5 times the amount of smokes in an Immortal game than you do in the other brackets, which is going to segue into another point later on, potentially the #1 point, but it's the reason why it becomes more of a thinking game. It's even why after a big patch comes out, you'll see some pro teams fall to some no-names. I believe even Nigma, which was Kuroki's team, lost to like Viking.gg. And it's not like that Viking GG team was bad. They had like a bunch of rank 50s and around there. Like almost all of them were high, very high MMR players. Frankly, I think their total MMR might have been like about the same as Nigma, the old Liquids, and they beat them. But if that was last patch, no chance, because Liquid had to have all the strategies in place. But because a new patch came out, strategies are gone. So if you're trying to become a high-level player, you got to learn how to outthink people and not just click your buttons and hit creeps. Because guys, if you're a spammer right now and you're just a meeple player and you know how to flash farm, that will get you only so far, brother. Now, I do recommend you start there and you get that down as a base level. If you can't outfarm people to win, that's where you need to start, guys. Learn, straight up, just learn how to outfarm people. Whether you're a support, learn how to be greedy as a support. Greedy as a 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, doesn't matter. It teaches you about how to move around the map in terms of farm and incorporate that into fighting. It's really the best way to play. Moving on at #2, I recommend you watch pro streams. This is much easier than watching replays, which is why I want to put it on here. It's kind of like watching replays, because often if they're very self-critical players, they'll actually say why they die, which is, I like streamers who do that. So really just look out for any streamer in particular that you think is self-critical, and it is a real blessing. I used to do that a lot. I would watch quite a bit of CCNC. I would watch, obviously, RTC streams, even if he wasn't talking. You could kind of tell when you get frustrated or understand his stats, or even try to figure them out for yourself. And even when I'm watching pro streams, another thing I want to recommend to you guys that I've been recommending to a couple of my students lately, that I just was like, oh, I got to bring this to YouTube, is try to actually predict what they're going to do next. I don't think people do this, and I know it can be like, oh, but I'm watching a stream, I'm just trying to chill. I don't want to do anything, I'm just trying to chill. Well, wake up a little bit, you know, like, just try to figure out what they're going to do next. What are they going to do next? Ask yourself that question. What are they going to do next? If you're even relatively close in terms of map movement, you're going to understand the game as a whole. And then when you incorporate your mechanical skill and things you're learning from just playing the game more, all of a sudden you'll actually be able to get to the top level, because the movements are the hardest thing to really master and refine. But if you can guess pros consistently and like where they're going to go and what lane they might TP to, especially after they die, where are they going to TP? Right? Will they show up to this fight going on? Stare at the minimap. You need to stare at the minimap. If you don't stare at the minimap, you're not going to be able to guess their next movement. That's why I'm saying to do this so much. It literally makes you the god of the minimap. And if you listen to NoTel recently in a video or on one of his streams, he said, if you want to become close to pro or immortal, you need to become best friends with your minimap. That's the facts. And finally, #1 on the list. This has to be #1. And the reason why it's #1, is because of its simplicity, and I'm really going to explain why it's so simple. People overthink this so much, and it's smoke. Yes, you heard me. The support item, quote unquote. Now, I'm going to break that right now. It's not a support item. I've said in other videos, I've literally made it a joke. Buy the smoke. Buy the smoke. Buy the smoke. Just, I don't care what role you are. I don't care what is happening in the game. Buy smokes. If you were trying to learn how to effectively move around the map and stop taking 50-50 fights under the enemy tier 1 that usually end up in a loss 9 times out of 10, especially if it's under their tier 1, you want to know how you avoid that? It's Smoke of Deceit. When your team is falling apart in the mid game and people are starting to tilt, how do you get them to group up? Smoke of Deceit. You know how you don't get them to group up? Telling them to run at a tower, because 9 times out of 10, that's what I see people doing. They're just like, oh, you know, we were ahead, now we're losing, so what we're going to do is we're going to run at the bottom of tier 1 and we're going to hope it works out. But the problem is now that they see all of us, because when we push a tower, they have complete vision. It doesn't work. Call a smoke. I recently was watching a TA game, one of my students. He was 5k ahead of the top net worth, but his team was doing so bad. Unbelievably bad. Like, it was like him on top and then 3 people below. And then all of a sudden it's just like his team like chilling behind. But he couldn't jump anyone. Or he would jump the wrong target, or his team couldn't back him up. They were never in position, and the enemy team was always getting the jump. How do you prevent this? Smoke of Deceit. It's so good. It's 80 gold, and it literally can win you a team fight. It's an 80 gold item that you trade for a 3k net worth swing. I'm serious. It's so simple. The crazy thing is, people complain to me a lot. They're like, oh, Speed, you tell me to, you know, communicate with my teammates, but they never listen. You want to know how you get people to listen without typing literally anything the entire game? Let's say you think you just naturally trigger people because you're just an annoying person. The way you prevent your annoying aspects or your annoying personality from, you know, seeking through into your comms is you simply never type, and the only thing you do is ping smokes and just ping in your area. You ping smokes, ping your area. Say, come smoke. You'll be shocked how much people come to smoke, because when you click that purple little ball of smoke, everyone knows that means we're going to slay. There's nothing unclear. It doesn't mean we're running into a tower and killing ourselves like the typical solo queue game goes. And as a result, smoke is legitimately broken in solo queue. And I'm not just hyping this up because I wanted to put it number 1 and I have to hype it up. I am super serious. I'm super serious. If you are the one guy out of every single lobby who calls smokes, you have a severe advantage over everyone else, and I am dead serious. So please hear me out on that one, and that's where I'm going to end the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. It helps our channel grow. Hopefully you enjoyed these 5 tips. I'm really just thinking about this a lot and trying to help people understand why maybe they're not going up. But yeah, just to recap it quickly, be critical, execute, and smoke. Are you tired of being hard stuck at your rank? Over at GameLeap.com, we have a library of hundreds of guides authored by pro players and coaches covering literally every aspect of Dota. Whether you're looking to master a new hero or role, or just polish up your existing skills, GameLeap is the proven place for competitive gamers to hone their craft and unlock their secret potential. Hit the link on screen right now to take advantage of our special offer for a 25% discount, guys. 25%, and start your journey today.